Michael Yoder. I watched your interview with Christian Zerko and had a question about missed withholds. I've never heard that term. What did LRH say about them in the Scientology scriptures? What are they, and why are they so damaging to people? Okay, Michael, thank you for asking me about this. And here is the definition given out of one of the Scientology dictionaries for a missed withhold. An undisclosed contra-survival act which has almost been found out by another, but not disclosed, leaving the person with the withhold in a state of wondering whether his hidden deed is known or not. Okay, so you do something bad. I almost find out about it. I don't find out about it. You don't confess, but I make you wonder whether or not I know. And it creates this mystery in your mind that is a little crazy making. It's like a little splinter in your mind the more you wonder about it, right? And you can end up with this phenomena that Hubbard lists out about 15 different indicators or signs of a missed withhold. One of them being that you become intensely critical of the subject of the withhold, right? So if you have been doing something bad to your spouse, let's say, and I'm not even going to give a specific of what it could be because, you know, the litany of them, there could be anything from, you know, stealing, abuse, whatever. Let's say you do something bad and your friend doesn't know anything about it, mentions your spouse to you. Hey, how's they doing, right? Or, hey, how's it going? Or, are they okay? Haven't heard from them in a while. Something maybe a little more suspicious-making question. Some kind of, are they okay? I haven't heard from them. I haven't seen them. Are they all right? And such questioning might create the mindset in you, the person who's committed this bad thing, who's done this horrible thing to this person. Now you're wondering whether your friend knows about what you've done to your spouse. That's the missed withhold. That instance right there when it's happening of them making you wonder whether or not they know. That's the missed withhold. Okay? And Hubbard said that a missed withhold will cause you to be critical of that person who is missing your withhold. Not your spouse. You're already, you've committed this overt against your spouse. You've done this bad thing. But because your friend is making you wonder whether or not they know about what you did to your spouse, now you don't like them either. And it's not necessarily a full-blown, okay, I don't want to ever talk to you again, but you're going to find yourself thinking, why don't you mind your own business? Leave me alone. Stop asking me these questions. Why are you asking me that? These kind of reactions when you're getting a rise out of a person like that by asking them seemingly innocuous or innocent questions, you're missing their withhold. Is how this is explained in Scientology. Now, in real life, there could be a lot of reasons why you might be pissing somebody off or annoying them or upsetting them. But a missed withhold, this is a real world phenomena. The nervousness that we feel when we wonder whether or not somebody knows what we've been up to, that's real. That's not something Hubbard imagined or made up. He just gave this name to it that we don't have in English. We've got, sin, transgression, moral transgression, or immoral act, or in Scientology, overt act. We've got words for the bad thing you did, but we don't really have a word in English for that feeling you get when you're wondering specifically about whether this person in front of you or on the phone or even through an email, it doesn't have to be an in-person live communication in order for it to be a missed withhold. Somebody could write you an email and miss your withhold. You could be reading a novel and the author of the novel could miss your withhold, right? If you're reading a book about somebody who did something very much like what you did, and you're sitting there going, oh my God. Now, that's a bit of a stretch, though, because a key component of it is that you have to credibly wonder whether the person who's missing your withhold actually knows or not. And, the author of a book might re-stimulate or make you think of the withhold, but the author of the book is not necessarily going to directly miss your withhold, but it could happen. It could be that that could occur. Okay, so regardless of how it happens, regardless of what communication medium is being used, that's the missed withhold. And Hubbard said that all of the frailties of human relations and the criticalness and the carping and the even blowing, even taking off and leaving, all stem from an accumulation of missed withholds. It's not your overts that do you in, it's the missed withholds that do you in. Now, of course, in the sequence of events leading up to a missed withhold, you have to have committed an overt. So we can say your overts are what did you in, but technically speaking, in Scientology, according to Hubbard's dogma on this, it is the missed withholds that actually build up the resentment and the ire and the and I want to kill you and that's all coming from the fact that people are making you wonder whether or not they know what a bad person you are, and the spin and the whole like introversion and oh my God, do they know? Do they not know? All of that, and all of the difficulties between people pretty much stem almost exclusively from missed withholds. Hubbard would say that all of cancel culture, all of the offense that people feel, all of this like that riles up from people, it all comes from missed withholds. And those kind of blanket statements are pretty culty, and that's why it's not really true. However, again, it is a real phenomena of human beings, and I do believe that these missed withholds have. I think there's something to it, actually. It's one of the very few things in Scientology that I thought Hubbard actually got kind of right. There's a lot of stuff mixed up with this that is totally, totally wrong. So don't take me too far with this. I'm not saying Hubbard's, all of the stuff that Hubbard wrote about sect checking and missed withholds and all of this is all true. I'm just saying he was definitely hitting on something in terms of how people get upset with each other. So that's what this is. And there you go.